The homeless crisis in Los Angeles is quite extraordinary. It doesn't matter where you go, people are living rough. Sometimes in tents, sometimes under plastic sheets, and sometimes just out in the open. The health problems for people living on the street are, as one might expect, horrendous. But amazingly, throughout the first COVID outbreak, here, the homeless community was almost completely unaffected. Then everything changed. Los Angeles and California has its own variant, and it is ripping through these streets.
This area is closed for quarantine and isolation.
Homeless shelters have had to drastically limit the numbers of people they can let in. Whole sections are now closed off and guarded as strict isolation is imposed.
From November 30th to December 31st, COVID cases among people devastated by homelessness went up 66%. So it was like whatever, I called it a special protection. Whatever that special protection was, the isolation, the being in the sun, the not coming in contact with travelers, whatever it was, and we still don't know, that's largely vanished. And here we are in the battle of our lives.
The California variant has been identified by researchers here at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, who are actually looking for signs of the British variant, but found their own. Nearly half of new cases in Southern California are the new California variant. Lockdown fatigue, the holiday season, and the new variant a nasty mix.
The data suggests that this may be more infectious than that can be seen.
The man who identified the California variant, Dr. Eric Vale, says it's the perfect storm.
Everyone was kind of, I think, getting a little bit of fatigue with the whole lockdown and things like that. And so there may have been some loosening up. But on top of that, when you have a strain that maybe is more infectious, easier to transmit, it turns it up to 11, right? So the peak of that surge, the magnitude, how high it went, is probably directly related to this new strain emerging.
And that's the California variant.
And that's the California variant.
The enormous queues for the COVID test and the COVID vaccine attest to the fear the pandemic has brought here. Some of the richest and poorest Americans live in Los Angeles. Nothing much unites them apart from humankind's susceptibility to COVID, and here, the California variant. What happens if one of the different variants identified around the world is vaccine resistant doesn't really bear thinking about. Stuart Ramsey, Sky News, Los Angeles.